Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the VOD. Today I will be covering the beta patch notes. We'll be dropping the first patch of beta tomorrow, and figured it would be nice to get those notes out to the community ahead of time. So yeah, that's what we'll kind of be covering tonight. Let me get chat up real quick. And yeah, it should be good. Oh, is chat not working? Let's see. Interesting. Oh, there it is. Just like off my screen for some reason. Let me... Am I frozen? Hey, good evening, everybody. I can kind of see it, but Chatterino is acting strange. Hey, Perez Dispenser, thank you for the tier 1 gift sub. Appreciate that. But hey, welcome in, everybody. I might miss somebody at the top that I can't see, but Zero Fuchs, Seraph, Barathos, Amy Wu, ArchFX, Sugar Demon, Immacularity, Lin Jinhua, Florane, Hemoptosis, Hedge Z, Zrel, Bingus Mortifier, Caladoran, Sup Baby, Soldier's Fate, Jeragor, and again, Perez Dispenser, thanks again. Acer M Sky, Datalic, Seabarhian, Azvan, Atomic Frog. Hey, what's up, buddy? Runakuna, Station Wagon TG, 300 Pound Chin, Comanche, Sticky Mouth, Byreal, OG Ponytail, Craft, Gemini X6, Liz Kimber, Lizzie Luck, Decent Milk, Swingburn, Kaiparo, Bottle Rocker, Yorsilius, Zenfar, Linguini 211, Tellin, Dark Force. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, got the fresh cut going, Azaban. Thanks for noticing. Grandoc, Blue Queen of Dragons, Derelicts, Bugbear, or Boo9 Bear. How's it going? Happy Face Prod TV, Be Mighty 82. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you. Good to see you. How's beta going? Any beta testers in the chat? What's up, Phantom Ghost? Good to see you. Beta is great. Loving the beta so far. Do you talk about Eminem with your barber? I actually do. So, yes, I do. My barber is actually a hobbyist streamer himself. He does like music and singing and stuff, guitar playing with sometimes with his friends and stuff. And yeah, he's also a gamer as well, and games with his son and stuff. So if you're out there, what's up, bud? But yeah. Yeah, I do chat about it with him, and he's it's been talking about this project with him for years now. 36 Rogue in the beta, huge. Give me a key, I'll let you know. Yeah, guys, so for just so there's like no FOMO or anything, or the way I'm gonna handle beta key giveaways, just so you know, and please, as people come in the chat and ask, I'm gonna just do a giveaway that runs throughout the entire duration of the stream, and you can come and go at your leisure. You don't need to stick around for it. I'll whisper, or I'll kind of at you in the chat if you win. So it's just kind of your responsibility to check your notifications. But yeah, I'll do like maybe like 5 keys at the end of the stream. But again, you can just do exclamation point giveaway at any time during the stream, and then you can come and go and leave. So didn't want to give anybody more FOMO or anything like that. So we'll just, I'll throw out that disclaimer out there, and then we'll just get on with the stream and the content. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's all good to go, you guys. I see you guys entering, so yeah. Are we doing the class deep dives? Not yet, but I definitely want to do that. Been doing a lot of various like class things and other kind of design work and other behind the scenes things lately. And kind of just really trying to buckle down with figuring out all what we need to do by early access and just a number of other things. But yes, classes are definitely very much a priority. Yeah, when you check out the patch notes, you'll see that one of the classes that needed some work has gotten a decent amount of work, and then there's some more changes in the pipeline, of course. Oh, don't fade away. It's not anything like that. I just want to make it more fair for everybody and not like I don't want people to have to like constantly be here, whatever, right? So come and watch the stream if you enjoy the content and seeing about the game and stuff. But if you're just here for the giveaway, you can enter, and then if you win, you can find that out later. So yeah, let people know in like Discord. That's how it's going to operate from now on. If anybody asks, or let your friends know, let your family know. Hey Nick, hey chat. I'm sure you guys are chugging for EA. Excited to see the changes for this patch. Yeah. What's up, Dargith? Are the patch notes on Discord? Not yet. So the patch notes are... I mean, in a way, they're in Discord. They're in a private channel currently. Not a closed alpha channel or anything, but NWC channel. But hey, Strider Dark, thank you for the Prime. How's it going, Nick? Bet the team is excited. EA is just around the corner. I, for one, can't wait myself since I've dogged every key giveaway as of now. Keep up the great work. Yeah, team is super excited. The reception in beta has been really cool, and yeah, we're just really excited to get the game into your hands and, be able to start the trek to bringing 1.0 to you. So, very excited. It's a very exciting time, and yeah. Hey, what's up, Nicodemus? Welcome in, buddy. Discord numbers are going up like crazy, getting close to 30k. Yeah, we're very close to 30k. Also, if you guys, we just dropped a new short on YouTube about kind of some of the metrics we'll be sharing. We'll be sharing like subscriber metrics, concurrent user metrics, and like full revenue metrics. So like it's gonna be like, you guys are all members of the board. You'll be getting like full reports on everything, and everything will be transparent. Yeah, we just dropped a short on that, but the reason I bring that up is we're really close to 10k on YouTube. So if you guys don't mind, hit up and subscribe on YouTube to the Monsters and Memories channel so we can hit that 10k. And yeah, get your friends, get your family in the Discord. We're really close to hitting 30k in there as well. So exciting. Number go up, always fun. I was curious about something. It's okay if you don't know the answer, but I was wondering how much of the empty space in Night Harbor is player purchasable spaces versus how much is just space needing to be propped out. Just curious. Most of it is now just player purchasable spaces. Nicodemus and, you know, some of our art guys like Chinny and have been kind of propping out Night Harbor, sprucing up NPCs, adding NPCs as needed. So yeah, Night Harbor is definitely getting some good love, especially recently. Jared Gore 36, thank you for the Prime and the 4 months. Appreciate that. Incredible. Thank you for the 3 consecutive streams. Hey, what's up, Derp Alert? Good to see ya. Welcome in. Are we at 70k accounts yet? I have to imagine we are.
Torvius
I haven't.
_ just cheered 200 bits.
Torvius, thank you for the 200 bits. Appreciate that. And Tin Flash, thank you for the tier 1 gift sub. Appreciate that. How do those spaces work? Are you talking about the housing spaces? Basically, you can click on one of the for sale signs and get a, you could get like a realtor's like agreement or whatever, and you can find the realtor and then turn it in and pay the fee, and then you'll get access to that house, and then you'll have controls over it. We're still working on housing, and we're still working on the carpentry to support it, but the initial implementation is there, so you can have your house, and then there's going to be more added benefits to housing coming fairly soon. If not in beta, then definitely early on in early access. Nick, what is currently going on with trade skills, and more specifically enchanters being required to use a reagent to enchant metals? If this is sticking around, when do enchanters get a disenchantment spell? And are we going to increase available items to disenchant? I'll have to take a look at that. I don't know that we'd be able to set up a disenchantment spell currently, because it's more of a recipe right now. I'll have to look into that, but in terms of enchanting, I'll have to see what Rift is thinking about that. But I think there is some changes potentially coming for enchanting and how you obtain dust and stuff like that. So, yeah, we'll try to post some more information on our beta requirements board. It really should be called the early access requirements board now. But yeah, I'll probably make adding some additional info and context as that becomes available. Will beta housing get limited before beta ends? That I'm not sure of as well. Yeah, we'll have to see on that one. What's the damage? Hey, Behe, thank you for the 100 bits. Appreciate that. What about adding more slots to the disenchantment cube? I think that's a reasonable suggestion. I can double check and see if disenchantment cube increase size. Yeah, I'll ask about that one and see if it makes sense. A lot of things don't disenchant right now, making it real rough to level enchanting / jewel crafting. Are you talking about named drops don't disenchant right now? If that's the case, then we may need to... It might be something with like the new itemization pipeline, not getting those tags, and for disenchanting in. So I will double check on that. Make sure we're handling that. Can you share any inner thoughts about how the charm balance is going? Yeah, so in the next patch, we'll be reducing the effectiveness of charm on higher level mobs, like specifically yellows and reds. It'll be a lot more difficult to land and stick charm on those targets. And I believe the reliance on charisma may also be going up at some point. If not in this patch, then in a future patch. But yeah, we're keeping an eye on charm balance, and we'll probably continue to make adjustments. There's also adjustments we want to make to the overall game balance, and make sure that the risk versus reward is properly balanced for charm, and that the risk versus reward and like game balance is just good in general. So one thing we'll be definitely doing in a future patch, probably the patch after this one, is we'll be upping the TTK on mobs. We're we're targeting AC, an AC increase on mobs to start. But I think we might also be making some modest adjustments to mob health, and we're also gonna we're gonna kind of encourage you to gear up more as you level, by putting some of that base health and damage into gearing instead of just having it as a baseline. Hopefully the game difficulty will go up, the TTK difficulty will go up, and then thus the experience curve will not be as quick as it is right now. So yeah, excited to get those changes in for you, and so you guys can test them in the beta. And if anything feels like too crazy or in the wrong direction, then we'll be able to make adjustments. Charm needs buff. Dude, Vangus, are you trying to... They're gonna get the torches and pitchforks out for you, buddy. Hey, Asterion, thank you for the Prime. Appreciate that. Thank you for the 3 months as well. You're just trolling. Yeah. Is there a giveaway happening right now? So again, I just mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I'm just going to let it run for the entire stream, so there's no like FOMO or anything. If you want to have a chance to get a key, you can just simply do ! giveaway, and then at the end of the stream, I'll run it and notify those people in the chat. So again, yeah. If you want to be in that giveaway, all you have to do is do ! giveaway, and then if you want to peace out, that's cool. Nick, is the proc effect on Restorative Smite intended to make Slam start a second cooldown? Because right now, even on its cooldown, it doubles down and puts Slam and Crusader Mark on cooldown. I don't think that sounds right, but let me investigate it and confer also with Zillith on that one, because he made some recent changes to Restorative Smite. Charm doesn't get severely nerfed just because I want Channers to not lose their identity. Yeah, I mean, so I've been trying to avoid, like, nerfing it in the sense of, like, hey, you need to, you know, gear up to make your charm pet better, or you need, like, obviously charisma is going to be a stat that you want to chase to make charm more effective, but it's not going to, like, make the pet, you know, we're not going to, like, nerf the pet and then make it stronger and scale up. We're considering gearing for pet scaling, but charm is kind of charm, right? You're expected to be able to charm a mob, and then you use that mob, you know, as how it is, right? But yeah, again, we're looking at ways to make charm high risk, high reward, which it's intended to be, and not just be kind of like a trivial thing that you're able to just like stack and easily handle. It should be very difficult to manage multiple charm pets, and even one charm pet should be quite a bit of a threat. So we're doing all we can to look at the balance to make that vision realized without actually nerfing the mechanics of charm. So plans to work on Spellblade's early levels, i.e. proc rate chance. So you have to gear up to get the proc rate chance up. And we're starting at a pretty low, I mean, pretty modest proc rate to start. So you're starting essentially with not a ton of procs, but you do get the guaranteed hits, the guaranteed procs on every hit. But the bigger procs, you need to kind of gear up for, get additional dexterity to increase that proc rate chance, and then as you like gain levels, gain gear, you'll notice that proc rate goes up substantially as you gear for dexterity and stuff like that. So it's kind of intended right now. Is it perfect? Maybe not. We'll have to see. And, you know, maybe there's some adjustments to make there, but currently, Yeah, I wouldn't say happy with it, but you know, currently it's very much intended to be how it is. So I would encourage people to start gearing up dexterity and see if that helps a lot or not. And if it doesn't, then you know we can consider making an adjustment. Hey, Criddle Games, sorry for the delay. Thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate that, man. Hope you've been enjoying the beta. And hey, welcome in, raiders. We're going to be going over the beta patch notes here shortly. Sorry if you answered this earlier, but can clerics be allowed to use tower shields? I think it fits them thematically and goes with them being plate wearers. That's a reasonable request. Let me make a note of it, and then I'll see about possibly doing that. Keeping track of short-term personal buffs is a bit difficult in a group, thinking Spellblade, as that's what I'm playing, but I'm sure it applies to others. Can we have a second buff window specifically for personal buffs? That is planned. I have a very strong desire to get something like that in. It just makes sense, and as soon as we could get that in, the better, because it really is a huge thing for Spellblades and certain other classes to be able to track those kind of buffs separately, because it is really a mess when you have to try to discern the difference between those short-term personal buffs and then your kind of like suite of long-term buffs and debuffs. So I think it makes sense, and I really want to do something like that. So yes, Bihi, expect something like that in the future. Just don't have a great ETA win. Hey man, hope you're doing well. Been able to take some time for yourself amidst this chaos. Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's been busy, but you know, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks for the concern. Thanks for looking out. Make charm the same level or lower. People charming Redcon is silly. Yeah, I mean, charming Redcons is going to be very, very unreliable. Almost like it's not really going to be possible to do, by any means. If it's still messed up in the patch, let us know and we'll fix it again. But we did some initial QA testing on it, so the results did seem promising, but just got to make sure that it's rock solid when we get it out to the greater beta community. The 20% damage nerf was just briefly in there, but I decided against it kind of last minute before beta. So I want to see if we can balance charm without having to impose artificial and arbitrary mechanics like that. I want to increase the risk. I want to make it harder to charm mobs that are higher level than you and stuff. So that has been removed since beta has begun. As an enchanter main, I should expect the potency of charm to rely on statting for charisma. I think people who focus in should be punished personally. Yeah, definitely we want people to focus on charisma for certain abilities such as charm. Is there a plan to give Elementalists a replacement for Core Gate / Koth, or is it more of a monitor and see situation? Definitely more of a monitor and see situation. It's something that I just have a desire to try out, and others on the team had a desire to try out, like getting rid of Koth and stuff. So yeah, it would be trivial for us to re-add it if it becomes apparent that it is just a better thing to have in the game. But for now, yeah. Hey, Nick, just tossing in my weekly suggestion for Inquisitor or Spellblade to have a short-term spell steal. Only lasts like 10 seconds, or one spell cast, only works on charmable mobs. Interesting. Yeah, spell steal, it can be... It's a hard ability to balance, right? Because we don't have a mechanism of preventing you from, like... What if you could steal, like, Bone Construct's ability or whatever, right? Like, I guess it's short-term spell steal, it doesn't make sense, or it's not a big deal, but then again, having a boss mob's ability for a short-term could be pretty devastating, right? So, yeah.
Goonie69 just cheered 2,500 bits.
Hey, thank you so much for the 5,000 bit, or the 2,500 bits, Goonie69. Appreciate that. Very, very kind of you, very generous of you. Glad you're enjoying the stream, and thanks again. Need 3 buff bars, personal buffs, song buffs, and everything else. Yeah, potentially. We'll have to see. Are we gonna buff the early Beastmaster Spirit Frost? It's incredibly weak and one of our only attack spells, not worth using at the moment. You have to see on that one. I mean, it's supposed to lag behind and not be super great, but at least it gives you like a ranged pulling option, or the ability to dump some mana to do like free damage at range. But well, I'll definitely be looking at all that stuff in the future and see if it makes sense. I mean, of course, they get some better nukes as time goes on, but yeah, it isn't supposed to be a great spell when you get it, but the additional spells in the line you get later are a little bit better, at least. But again, it's a situational niche thing for them. It's not meant to be like a mainstay DPS thing. You'll be getting more melee abilities for Beastmaster and other Beastmaster specific abilities that aren't hand-me-downs from the Shaman. But since that's like kind of a hand-me-down from the Shaman, it's not super great or anything. Any way we can reorder the abilities on the aura/stance bar? I think we have been looking into either like reorganizing that in like a cohesive way, or just allowing you to do that outright. So I'll make a note of that. Reckless Deathicus, thank you for the 6 months. I appreciate that, buddy. Welcome in. Glad you're enjoying the stream. And yeah, thanks for the 6 months. Oh, wait. 7 months. Sorry. I understand the importance of sense magic buff and everything, but can we at least see our own debuffs and dots on the target? Yeah, so that's another thing that we're still kind of designing out, kind of figuring out how we want that to be done. So that it's not a no by any means. It's just we're still there's a lot of UI stuff, and we're still looking into how we want to do that. So it's not off the table completely by any means. You guys have a target date for this patch? It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. Nick, TTK plus Necro, Shaman, also to an extent being dot-centric feels wasteful. Necro feels relegated to mana pump due to their only other DD being a life tap and not mana efficient. What's it called? Yeah, so I'm definitely going to be taking a look at the dot balance again, but what's it called? Yeah, like certain dots are definitely not great in groups. The intention of like the shorter dot lines are to be better in groups. And with TTK going up, maybe the 30-second dot lines will start feeling a little bit better. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I'll probably be looking at some more of the dot balance and things like that. So yeah, just keep an eye out. Good afternoon, Nick. I've been loving testing the Bard and was wondering if there's a plan to include illusion clickies like the Bard Rogue Mask in EQ. Yes, there will be illusion masks and clickies, and there already are a couple here and there, but they are quite rare, quite maybe higher end. I don't want to give away too much, but yes, there is already some clickies like that in the game. What's up, Heathen Brewski? See. You have any teaser/info on the new shield abilities coming? Not yet, but I plan on starting to prototype those out, probably on a development stream coming up soon. Now that have gotten this patch out, and I've kind of tied up, or am not as tied up with some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, I'm gonna be trying to just get some long development streams going, and then I'm gonna just hit on a bunch of stuff like that, and you guys will get to see me work on it in real time and Yeah, we'll get that stuff figured out. Is Bard getting double attack back still? I don't think I promised that they would get it back, or maybe somebody else said that, but currently no plans to give them double attack back. But if there's good feedback to the contrary, then I'm sure we would consider it. But I do think that Bards being a support and having damaging songs and stuff, I think it makes sense that they don't have it, but I don't know. We'll have to see for sure. Is there a plan to give Elementalists a replacement? Oh, I already answered that one. Sorry. Game is coming along really nice. Wanted to just share that I'm really liking blacksmithing. I think some of the earlier points on enchanting/disenchanting are actually better than they seem. Disenchant is hard, but it does help control the game economy. Hey, thanks for the kind words, first of all. Glad that you're liking the trade skills. I think some of the earlier points on enchanting and disenchanting are actually better than they seem. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely something that we're looking at. I know that like we're looking at it as a balance team. The balance guys, design guys and stuff, are taking a look. So we're definitely keeping an eye on it, and we'll make any changes as we deem them appropriate. But yeah, I mean, we're definitely focusing in a lot on economy now. So there's going to be some economy changes coming in the very near future. Thanks for making a fun game for us all, listening to your community. Thanks again, Goonie. I really do appreciate the bits. It's very generous of you, and you're very welcome. Before launch, will fletching be able to make bows? Seems to be the one thing missing for their progression. Fletching is able to make bows. However, it would be cool if they would be able to make some maybe stat bows or something. So I'll make a note of that. Because we did add some like stat gear to the armor crafting professions, but maybe we need to do some magical like stat weapon crafting stuff that's like more difficult to obtain. So I'll make a note on that as well and see if there's anything we could get in. You can't charm bone construct, so why would you be able to spell steal it? Oh, okay. If it's based off of like charm or something, then yeah, that makes sense. Bugbear. You need a cooler graphics package? Hey, that's part of the charm, Ollie. I mean, if you wanna propose something or show me some cool graphics package, I'm all for it, because I know you're a pro at that stuff. But yeah, no, I think it's part of the charm, man. You know, just the old default. But it's good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. Okay, I'm like 8 minutes behind in chat. That's pretty good. Is Taunt going to continue being on the spell bar? Also, is it intended to share a cooldown with Fighter Shout? Seems to weaken the class identity. In the past, it was... yeah, I mean, it is currently intended to share that cooldown. But I don't know that that's a set, like, super set in stone thing. By the way, Arachnus Deathicus, thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'll consider moving it to a separate cooldown. I've done that with a lot of abilities lately. Twin Cannon, thank you for the 4 months. Appreciate that. And Dash728, thank you for the Prime. Ursius, thank you for the Prime. And I think I got everybody. Sorry for the delay on those guys. Archer class. Will fletching eventually be able to make... Okay, I already answered that. I should just scroll down, man. You think Bard instrument modifiers and the song overriding issues with other classes are on target to be fixed before EA? It might actually be in this patch. I think we did... We are planning to significantly buff the Bard instrument modifiers. I did see a proposal for that. I don't know if it got into the DB. But that might be an undocumented patch change for this patch. If not this patch, it'd probably be in the next one. You feel Beastmaster is in a good place without DA. Are you talking about like Divine Aura, Divine Aegis? If so, I think maybe? I don't know. I have to reevaluate my thoughts on that. Can't believe how fast some people have advanced in blacksmithing. Yeah, and that's another thing that we're keeping a lot more close eye on. Now that we have Rich Waters on the team, he's been like an absolute superstar in providing us metrics and various kind of grabbing data from the database and visualizing it, proposing changes, proposing initiatives. So yeah, hats off to him on all that stuff. And we're keeping track of like the top trade skillers, the top gatherers, and a ton of other metrics. Will fleshers be able to make staves? Currently, they should be able to make basic staves, but stabs, staves, whatever. But they, again, it's something that they don't have the ability to make stat-based ones yet. Do you have any thoughts on making backstab and ambush feel more rewarding? I did buff ambush, and I'm wondering if it not feeling rewarding enough is like a scaling issue. Is it a weapon itemization issue? But rogue is definitely a class that scales, and it does kind of is designed to kind of get to being an S-class DPS. And it really helps if you have the proper support around, right? You know, having Enchanter Haste, or, you know, Beastmaster, Pack of the Predator, Ranger True Strike Aura, stuff like that. Definitely helps a lot. But yeah, I mean, we'll definitely try to look more at some of the DPS numbers and see if they're doing enough. He's just giving me a hard time. Oh, thanks, Ollie. I appreciate it. And hey, One Morning Coffee, thank you for the raid. I appreciate that. Welcome in, Raiders. I'm Nick. I'm one of the lead developers here on Monsters and Memories, and I'm about to go over the beta patch notes. So welcome in. Just answering some questions. And yeah, again, guys, just a reminder, I'm running a giveaway throughout the full duration of the stream. You can just do !giveaway to be entered for that, and then you can peace out if you want to, just so there's no FOMO or anything. Yeah, so just wanted to let you guys know about that, and at the end of the stream I'll pull some names, so it'll be your responsibility of knowing that you won, but you can at least come and go as you please, and it won't be like a major focus. Twin Cannon, thank you for the 4 months. Appreciate that. And Zachary, thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate that as well. Glad you guys are enjoying the stream. Any plans on giving out more PvP only keys to populate the PvP server a bit more and get the PvP mechanics tested? It's something that we've discussed and we don't have an answer on yet. I'd like to discuss it more with Sean and Ollie and see does it make sense for us. My concern is that if we start giving out PvP only keys, that people that want to play PvE will get soured on the game, and you know, I would hate for that to be the case. So it's something that we'll talk about and consider, but it's not a definite thing yet. Since Charm has been on topic lately in Discord, as an enchanter, I'm dodging Charm at the moment because of enchanter anxiety around Charm breaks. I can't walk away for a minute or so because of breaks. Thoughts about changing Charm into a Dire Charm that just creates a doppelganger with similar pet stats to, say, a mage/necropet, but with abilities of what you have Charm, so breaks aren't a thing anymore. I played enchanter for decades in EQ, but I can't do it anymore due to bladder issues. It's a decent idea, but I think really what Charm is about is is that kind of gameplay, right? The breaks and you get the full strength of the mob and stuff like that. But I did introduce Enchant Ally as an alternative, so you can either Enchant Ally or you can Charm. So I would suggest going with the Shadowkin pet and going with Enchant Ally, because Enchant Ally is a really powerful buff, especially for your tank. And I think it'll be even more so now that some of the HP is going to be going out to gearing instead of just your base health. So I think that... and I'd like to improve on Enchant Ally, fix some of the bugs, and just make it better over time. But I think what it does provide, and the potential that it has for the future, especially if you gear up around stamina and get that max HP buff even higher, I think it can be a really interesting thing, right? So you can have an enchanter who gears for int, you can have an enchanter who gears for charisma, or you can have an enchanter who focuses on Enchant Ally and gears for stamina. So, stamina and ints, right? Probably a mix, but that's kind of the intention, right? So, probably won't go that direction with Charm, but at least there's a potential cool alternative playstyle for Enchanter if you don't like Charming. Or if you don't want to Charm at the time, right? Hey, what's up, Lord Corundum? Good to see you. Thanks. Thank you for that. Hey Nick, I'm wondering about archers in Wormsbane. They never seem to hit. Also, the named with the bow is stupid easy compared to Daria. Let me make a note. Archer, mob damage. So I think it's because they don't have weapons, and the ability type they're using is based off of weapon damage. So I think the archers and like mobs that are using strike when they don't have a weapon, etc., are like really low damage. So I either need to just make them like flat damage abilities or something, or we need to find some way to kind of like, for a case by case basis, if a mob doesn't have a weapon, then they have at least some kind of default weapon damage value that they can refer when using those types of abilities. So I'll put that on my list as well. And thanks for the good reminder. Nick, can you confirm that you are halfling named Sup Baby? No, that's not me. Isn't that's somebody in chat, I thought. Alright, I am so far behind in the chat. Nick, thoughts on Cleric competing for healer slot in groups against DPS experience utility of Shaman Druid that also keeps group alive while pushing more rewards? You can't heal more to be helpful if the damage design is all healers heal enough, but only some add DPS / utility. Res is really an after failure option, doesn't give the group push reward for the time spent unless you're dying often. I'm hoping that some of the balance changes that are coming in will make clerics more valuable. That being said, I do think that like Cleric, when played well, is quite a strong option, even when compared to Druid Shaman. But of course, Druid and Shaman are very, very nice as well. So I'll keep an eye on Cleric. Cleric is one of my favorite classes. So, you know, naturally, if they're not feeling strong enough, then I have to give them a little buff, right? So, of course, naturally. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on that. Thanks for the feedback, Kha'Zix. Nick, can you do an alternative opt-in for PvP server only? Yeah, that's being discussed. Having like an alternative opt-in, alternative flagging for the for the PvP server. Again, not sure if we're gonna do that, but those are all options on the table. What about selling maps of zones like a spell scroll? We may do something like that in the future, but it's not a priority at the moment. I've been playing PvP since I got a friend key. It's been awesome. Glad that you're enjoying it, Archon Warlock. Can you elaborate on how you will let us know that we have won if we step away? I won't ever step away, asking for my Slacker friends. Oh yeah, I'll just do an your name in the chat. So I think that like notifies you on Twitch or something. I could always like just whisper the winners as well, but you'll have to have your whispers open. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just like I don't have a good answer for that. Sorry. Maybe I need to rethink it a little bit. Enchant Ally is broken again? Oh yeah, I was playing with my friend, and he was an enchanter, and he said that Enchant Ally was breaking randomly. So yeah, that's something that we need to look at ASAP. See if we can fix that. Nick, in reference to that charm comment about stepping away, a Membler/Pacify that only works on a charm pet, breaks charm, but maybe makes it forget you and be non-aggro for a little, would help bad enchanters that need to step away while holding a pet. Yeah, it's a fair idea. How long am I streaming for today? Not very long. It's I'm gonna need to head off in a little under 2 hours, but I'm going to be going through the beta patch notes here shortly. So let's go to the patch notes. Let's go to the patch notes. So without further ado, let me open the patch notes and we'll go through them real quick. Let us... Hold on one second. Oh, somebody DM'd me on Discord and says, I'm driving but listening. You can change the order of the stances by changing which one is first in your ability book. So just a little workaround for people on the stance bar. But anyways, let's get to those patch notes. I will give a disclaimer that there's a couple patch notes missing. I know that Nicodemus was gonna shoot me some over later tonight, and I think he's been doing like Night Harbor pop and maybe a little bit of quest work or maybe some Evershade Wield quest work stuff, but I'll have to confirm with him. Hey, as a fellow Planetside 1 beta tester, I think I should be given a key. I have proof? I do respect the Planetside 1. I do respect it. But hey, let's go over the patch notes. So let me turn on display capture. Okay. So Monsters and Memories Beta Patch 1. Hokushin85, thank you so much, dude, for 25 Tier 1 gift subs. Holy crap, man. And hey, thank you also for that that helpful tip on the stance bar. I appreciate that. But dude, thank you so much. That is extremely, extremely generous of you. And yeah, man, thank you again. That's very kind of you. Planetside 1 was so goated. Absolutely was. But hey, let us go over these patch notes. So, okay, Monsters and Memories, Beta Patch 1, 0.20.26.0. Will these patch notes be public? Yes, they will be. So Tech, Talon Dark Forest, coming in with 10 Tier 1 subs as well. Dude, Talon, thank you so much, dude. And thank you for everything that you do, man. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure the community appreciates it too. So thank you so much, dude. That's extremely, extremely generous of you. Appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Thanks again, everybody. It's very kind of you. So Tech. Start off with Tech. Got bug fixes. Major first bug fix here. Fixed a major memory leak in the client. So everyone that's been suffering with the memory leaks and the restarts, believe we've got a fix on that, and we've tested a bit, and it seems very, very promising. So yes, let us know if you run into anything, but that should be squashed. Settings will now immediately write to the file instead of waiting for the player to exit the game. Zachary coming in with 5 tier 1 gift subs. Thank you so much, Zachary. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for the generosity, and glad you're enjoying the stream. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. It's very, very generous and very kind of you all. I appreciate it so much. Uniques can no longer be looted again when looting from a player corpse. Fixes to zone lines where zone lines sometimes fail. I'm new here. Do you work on M&M? Yeah, I'm one of the founders and lead designers of Monsters and Memories. And yeah, just going through the patch notes. But hey, welcome in, Lemonstein. Okay. Players that die below level 5 and lose no experience can now still be resurrected. Changes in stamina should no longer cause the breath bar to appear briefly. PvP guard logic has been changed to avoid exploitation. Illusion should no longer create a second model. Enchanter pets will no longer lose their weapons when zoning or relogging. Fixed assigning a co-owner to a house. In-combat AI and pathfinding for NPCs should be more reactive under the higher server loads. Do not show mana recovery messages when the amount is 0 for effects that recover mana on kill. Fix bags showing the incorrect size. Okay, let's move on to UI. UI. Change the order of operations for the escape key. Everything should now be last in first out, closing your most recent on top windows first. The maximum value on each stat for your race and class combination will now display during character creation. Show NPC name setting has been updated. It now includes an option to hide player pet names for all those Beastmasters out there. Added /who option to context menu when right-clicking on player names and chat. UI fixes. Fix the interactions MUD window. Only NPC responses should trigger this and appear in the interactions window. Fixed an issue where if you had renamed a tab while in the main chat, on the next time your UI loaded, it would create a new main window and your old group of tabs would contain chat 0. Warmth of the Campfire buff spam fix. When a campfire owner leveled up, the message spammed. This has been resolved. Friend notifications should be fixed. You should no longer see friends you have not added to your list going online or offline. Alright. Let's move on to art. Art. Character art. Adjusted donkey saddle position slightly. Fixed some shields that were missing geometry. Added Stein model. Fixed a few item appearances. And bucklers are no longer invisible. UI art. Added monk class symbol. Animation. Human male. Now has smoother mining loop. Loots are no longer held backward. Halfling male. Updated attack swing animations. Wood elf male. Fix glitch when landing after a jump. Remove dagger animations from swords. Just a note for the animation stuff. In the next patch, I think it's going to be. I had noted that there was a kind of pop going on with ranged attacks. So this will be adjusted in probably the next patch, or resolved in the next patch. Environment. Black Tide Bay lighting pass completed. Windcogs and surroundings lighting pass. Fix some line of sight issues in Night Harbor. Sound. Added waterfall sounds to the waterfalls in Keeper's Bite. JakeMan1965, thank you for the Prime. Welcome in. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Added a note/letter opening sound. Fix for multiple death sounds to play when dying under certain conditions. Fix for missing meat spin sound. Second pass on optimizations. Fix for creature idle sound sometimes not playing. Might not be in this build. Design. Balance. Charms against higher cons now break more easily than before. You can now only one property type per account. One house, one stall, and one in-room. Ticks should be more consistent. Swim speed without swimming skill has been slowed down slightly. It's still a net increase from when it what it originally was before the buff. Necromancers and Shadow Knights no longer benefit from negative charisma. They now follow the same rules as other classes. More charisma is better. Buffs applied from objects placed by abilities can now be resisted. Fix some edge cases related to skills and leveling up, which may cause fizzle chains when first leveling. Prevent micrositting from counting as meditation time. Zones. Blacktide Bay. Zone lines enabled. Safe point moved to Evershade Weald side of the dungeon. Now has new items that will interest a broader selection of classes. It's still a bit heavier on chain and plate items, as they are not widely available before level 15, and those classes need some support. There is something for everyone, though. Blacktide Bay? Blacktide Bay is a zone in Monsters and Memories. You guys have to discover it, though. I'm sure somebody can inform you if you really want to know. Keeper's Bite. Corrected drop rate of Poacher Quest items. Added a Shady Merchant. Added Inquisitor Trainer and Scroll Merchant. Added fishing supplies. And prop updates to various locations. Nick, what's happening to my second house? I don't know that we're retroactively, like, getting rid of other people's houses. I think it's just like a future thing. But not 100% on that. Glinting Hollow. Whatever that is. No idea. Glinting Hollow now zones you out of the proper location. Ali says, if you own it and continue paying services, you will keep it for now, at least. What does micrositting mean? Sitting for the tick to get more mana? Pretty big change if so. That's already changed, but now it calculates how long you're sitting within the duration of a tick and then awards you the proper amount of mana. My guess is that it means, like, you can't just, like, be spamming sit a lot and then, like, get a bunch of credit for sitting longer than you did or whatever. So we're going to keep looking at this. We could also possibly be looking at the regen rates. I had some thoughts about it, but I still have to bring them to the attention of the balance team. But yeah, we're going to keep looking at the tick sitting and tick mechanics and make sure that it is just right for launch. Ollie does say it was something no one in their right mind was even doing, so don't worry. It was just a weird edge case that granted very marginal mana. There it is. So again, I don't know that this zone is currently open, but there is a note about it. So don't take this as confirmation that the zone is or isn't open, but I'm pretty sure it's still closed. P. Peterson 103, thank you for the Prime. Appreciate that. Hope you're enjoying the stream. And Senior Grind, thank you for the 60 bits. You cannot call it meat spin, dude. Nah, that's what we call it. That's what we call it here. And Jake Man 1965, thank you for the Prime if I didn't get you. Appreciate that. Quests. Some early quests in Night Harbor gave rewards that were over or under-tuned. Some adjustments were made to improve this, and we'll continue to monitor feedback on those items. Design fixes. Howling Frenzy should now behave better with sounds, visuals, and pets. Torn fur is no longer unique. Okay, on to classes now. Archer. Lots of Archer changes. Ability icons updated. Some are still placeholder and will be finalized later. But the placeholders are pretty decent. Like, they very clearly, I think, kind of inform you what the ability kind of does, and, well, somewhat. And there is very little overlap. I think maybe, like, 1 or 2 abilities are on the old icons. But everything else is completely unique. Caltrops duration. This is a big one, guys. This is a big nerf. Caltrops duration reduced from 1 minute to 10 seconds. So the reason for such a severe nerf is I'm also concerned about the ability to take multiple archers in a group, and have multiple of them down. Definitely gonna look at this patch and kind of evaluate the change. But hopefully the kind of suite of abilities that I'm about to go over will more than make up for the loss of Caltrops, and it'll feel like a more fair class and less of a kind of gimmicky thing that crutches hard on Caltrops, right? Cardamon, thank you for the Prime, and thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate that. And Tyran Tech, thank you for the 5 months. Appreciate that as well. Welcome in, guys. Hope you're enjoying the stream. So added ability, Snaring Shot. Added ability, Interrupting Shot. Added ability, Oil Trap. Added ability, Multi-Shot. Illuminating Shot. Cast time reduced from 2 seconds to 0 seconds. Illuminating Shot can now be used to consume the Oil Trap effect to ignite the affected target with Flash Fire. Flash Fire is a fire damage dot. Might have to tune the damage on it a little bit, but just happy to get it in and give you guys a little bit of an extra option there. Why do you hate Clerics? I love Clerics. Clerics is one of my most played classes. I'll wait for the ad break to end. About 45 seconds on that. Dwarf Cleric for the win? Dude. Dwarf anything for the win. How about him? Did you suggest that, Squats? I swear to God, either I read that and subliminally thought about it, or something. What's up, Anros MMO? Good to see you. Stone Skin 2 OP. Add Dwarf Druid. All race class combinations must be directed to the A Loving Robot stream. Thank you. Dwarf Inquisitor when? You never know. Hold on a second, guys. I gotta take a sip of, you know what. Also, whoever made the guild Kirkland in-game, cheers to you. Nick, it's been a few months since I bothered you. Half-elves win. That's another thing to direct to the A Loving Robot stream. I think we do like the idea of doing half-elves eventually, though. When we kind of came up with the race list for Eminem, there wasn't many people on the team. We didn't know that we're going to be able to, like, you know, ship a game that had too much content in it, but now things are looking great, so, you know, you could very well maybe see half-elves in the future. Alright, let's get back to the patch notes since the ads are done with. By the way, it's good to see so many people in the stream today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. If you're not following already, please drop a follow. About to hit 20k followers again since the first time since like 2014 when I was just a humble hot streamer. Alright, so let's go back to the patch notes. Immobilizing Trap. Effect duration decreased from 60 seconds to 20 seconds. Now has a moderately higher chance to break on damage/dot. Immobilizing Trap now uses diminishing returns in PvE/PvP. Immobilizing Trap moved from level 11 to level 18. So the reason for adding, this is kind of be a little bit experimental. I'm trying some diminishing returns for PvE, and the reason for that is I'm worried about kind of the stacking of archers and basically having a nice resource-free utility and crowd control. So I want to kind of rein that in a little bit. Still have it be a very useful ability, but not be too crazy when you're just stacking archers. So it's going to be something that we try, and if it doesn't feel great, or if it is a major issue, then it's something that we can always move away from. I wouldn't say that archers are really being hit hard with the nerf bad. I feel that they're still a very solid class, and now that they have more options like snaring shot, oil trap, multi-shot, like I think they're going to feel more fleshed out and less gimmicky. But I'm totally cool with being wrong, so if you guys have feedback to the contrary, I'll definitely listen to it. But yeah, the goal here isn't to be like, oh my god, archers are so OP, nerf, right? I'm just trying to make the abilities make sense and not be too crazy broken. Because with Caltrops, what I was seeing was, and this is the same thing that I saw on, I took a little bit of a trip to WoW TBC anniversary land for like a couple weeks, like a week or two. And the thing that I was seeing, especially when you got up to the heroic level, is like, it just wasn't worth playing unless you had a mage with Imp Blizzard, and you'd kite it, or like as a tank, you just kite it around in a circle and never really got hit. I want tanks to get hit, and I want healers to have to expend mana on them. And Caltrops was acting in a way that you basically didn't need a healer in a group. I witnessed multiple groups that had archers basically just killing stuff for free, and then other people in a group just sat there and soaked XP. And then you had another group that had no healer in it, all DPS classes with 2 archers, and the tank was just kiting around in Caltrops. So, again, it's really just ensuring that the game is played in a way that makes sense and is more traditional, instead of just abusing mobility mechanics like that, or consistent like snaring mechanics that you can just use infinitely. So there is a couple other things that we're going to probably be trying for Caltrops, and if it turns out that we can balance it in a better way, then we'll definitely try that. For example, we've added the ability for Caltrops to be resisted. We've added the ability for one thing that would be cool is maybe if there was some kind of diminishing returns, but I don't know that diminishing returns would work on Caltrops the way that you would expect right now. Nice haircut? Thank you. Kite groups bad? Not necessarily. I think kite groups have validity. And I think kiting has validity even on the archer. But the way that Caltrops was existing in the game, it was it was just a bit too strong. So if there are ways to make Caltrops more effective and but keep them in a balanced state, then we'll make those changes, but... Okay, so let me keep going on the patch notes. Exposing shot moved from level 8 to a level 11. Distracting shot moved from level 14 to level 19. Pinning shot cooldown increased from 30 seconds to 45 seconds. Bard. Fleshed out Siren's Call line with ability Siren's Allure, Siren's Enchantment, Siren's Compulsion, and Siren's Thrall. Siren's Call... These two rhyme kind of mess with me. I might have to change this. Siren's Call has been moved from level 8 to level 4. And all these Bard charm spells have level requirements, or highest level that they can be now. They cap out at a certain max level, target level. So yeah. And they have increasing mana costs as they go up as well. Beastmaster. Beastmaster pets will no longer be lost when data is saved and you have a mount. Fighter. Disarm physical damage reduction decreased from 15% to 10%. Disarm now is affected by diminishing returns in PvE. So when this ability first went in, it was just broken. Like it basically, so it disarms a target, or it does the damage reduction. I think it might do both, or it might depend on context of PvP or PvE or something. But essentially, it was like 50% damage reduction, no diminishing return, like long duration, so it was like completely game breaking. So I brought it down to 15%. I'm further bringing it down to 10% and giving it diminishing returns. Because if you just chain it, if you had a bunch of fighters and chained it, and the value was really high, it would greatly throw off the game balance. And that's not the goal with Disarm. So reduce the damage reduction a little bit and gave diminishing returns. Shaman, Consume line. Cooldown increased from 0 seconds to 12 seconds. Cast time reduced from 1.25 seconds to 1 second. Consume mana returned and health cost increased from 12 mana, 25 health to 48 mana, 100 health. Consume 2 mana returned and health cost increased from 25 mana, 50 health to 100 mana, 200 health. Consume 3 mana returned and health cost increased from 45 mana, 80 health to 180 mana, 320 health. Consume 4 mana returned and health costs increased from 90 mana, 150 health to 360 mana, 600 health. Yeah, if this is broken, then I'll definitely bring it back, but basically I just, made this something that you do every 12 seconds instead of, like, all the time. Doing it all the time, like, I don't know. There was feedback that it wasn't, and now that we got rid of, like, tick sitting and stuff, so we didn't have, like, that full canny dance in anyways anymore. But yeah, try it out. Let me know. Let me know if it's, like, trivializing Shaman Healer, stuff like that. So I just kind of increase the cooldown and the mana and health, mana return health cost accordingly. So hopefully it makes sense. Hopefully it's semi-balanced. If not, I'll make adjustments. Wizard. Seal of Magic will now grant a stack of Mark of Magic on the target whenever they are hit with an evocation spell. Note, you will need to cancel your current Seal of Magic buff and recast it to get the new behavior. There it is. That is beta patch number 1 for the Monsters and Memories beta. Missed the beginning? I will be getting the VOD up immediately. And I believe you can go back in the VOD as well while I'm live. So, Corvid, that's just to be consistent with the other charm spells that have max level target levels. Hopefully the charm nerf is enough. I'm sure it probably won't, honestly. Like, I'm sure that we're going to have to make additional balance adjustments to get charm in the place that we want it to. But hopefully you see that we're committed to moving in that direction and doing what we can to really ensure that charm has a high risk, high reward style gameplay. And again, Nicodemus, yeah, Nicodemus had some a couple patch notes, so look for a couple additional items when the patch does drop. I think he's probably got some like Night Harbor design pop stuff, maybe some quest stuff, quest adjustments, if I had to guess, for Night Harbor as well. So more information on that will be forthcoming, but otherwise, that should be a vast majority of the patch notes. I'm sure there's probably some undocumented stuff that slipped in here, but we'll try to make sure we are a bit more thorough in the future, but that should be the vast majority of things. When will these go up on the Discord? I'll probably post them after the stream, something. But yeah, I'll also get the VOD up on YouTube so you guys can reference that. Do you expect the martial classes, like Archer, Monk, Rogue, will get more mid-level and high-level abilities by EA? Yes. And that's something that I'm waiting on to add more abilities. So, and then I'll make changes like that all at once. I'm either considering spreading out some of the abilities. So I want there to be like maybe a dense kind of selection early on, so you could get like a full ability bar. But then some of the other abilities will be a little bit more spread out in level. And additionally, there may even be ranks so that there's even more abilities to chase after. But I haven't decided on the ranks or not. It'll probably be like a game time decision. But I want to see if I could maybe just spread out the abilities in a nice way without doing the ranks. But then also offer like a dense kind of selection at the beginning so that, you know, you're on par with casters and having like a full ability bar of things to do. I like getting the kit early, to be honest. It's really nice. Yeah, and I mean, that's why I did it, right? Like, but, you know, it does feel nice to be able to have some kind of things to look forward to later on. So that's why I'm kind of considering doing like a, you know, full ability bar by level 10 type of deal, but then spreading out some of the other abilities after that. So ranks can be cool, but meh. Yeah, that's exactly what I feel, right? It's like it kind of feels like a, I don't know. It feels like like it would be a forced decision, but I don't know that I want to do it. Dang, did you get a haircut for us? Yes, I did. I was hoping to get it before beta kicked off, but finally got the haircut going. I agree. Nice sauce neck. Hey, thank you. Some things to toy with if you're looking to mess with charm breaks. You could look into more deterministic RNG when you know charm will break X times in Y minutes, but not when. After charm breaks Z times, the charm pet becomes resistant to charm, increasing breaks and likely incentivizing the enchanter to choose a new pet at whatever interval you've designed by controlling breaks per total time. Yeah, I mean, it's a good suggestion, and I've seen like a similar suggestion internally in some of our internal charm conversations. One thing that I do like about the random RNG is that it kind of feels more D&D-esque, and that it's kind of like the expected norm for you know, a lot of people with charm. That being said, you know, it's something that we have in our back pocket if we want to go that route. And yeah, you know, I've also seen the like becoming more resistant to charm or like enraging after on a break, stuff like that. And those are also being considered as well. But again, really would like to get charm just like feeling, you know, high risk, high reward using the current mechanisms. But again, we still have those options if we want. Half-Baked Plan, thank you for the Prime. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Welcome in. The charm gets more resistant over time is something Agilon tried, and everyone hated it and stopped charming. So, yeah, and you know, a lot of those things I've definitely thought of myself, and I've always kind of steered away from them because I was like, wow, this sounds like maybe it could be a great idea, like a. But at the end of the day, like, you know, some people just want certain things to be a certain way, so, I tend to be a little bit resistant to those types of changes and try to get to the root issues instead of like making kind of arbitrary mechanical changes. Hopefully that philosophy works well for us. But yeah. Dregs of Society, thank you for the Prime. Are you guys considering tweaks to Whispers of FS, or are you happy with it where it is at currently? It often feels too weak to take up spell slot as it is right now. It might be one of those abilities that winds up on your hotbar long term, but I'll make a note to take a look at it and see if it's currently doing what is expected or if it needs some kind of buff. Nick, I don't disagree with the D&D RNG feel, but when it comes to balance, some determinism is likely going to be required regardless of the topic. Yeah, I mean, that's a very fair statement. So again, we'll continue evaluating stuff like that and charm specifically and see if it makes sense or not. But thank you again for the feedback. I do appreciate it. It's a big hit to wizards unless they give us a spell designed specifically to apply it. So that's just the first in a line of changes coming for wizard. So I was talking about this last night in another stream. Was we have a bunch of wizard mechanics planned. Basically, we have a staff mechanic coming in. You'll be able to enchant one of your staffs as like kind of your wizard staff, and with the wizard staff, you'll be able to shoot out magic missiles with it. So it's kind of like a low damage, like mana free option that allows you to also apply the marks of magic. And additionally, there's also it's going to grant you an additional staff ability bar, and you'll be able to mix and match some of these special staff abilities how you see fit. So there'll be some cool, like, powerful cooldown abilities and different things that you can do. So, yeah, expect some cool wizard stuff coming up. I know that Zillith has been working on those, and we've been talking a lot about those. So this is kind of the first of many changes to come for Wizard. And also, additionally, Seal of Magic will be kind of the it will provide some degree of melee haste. So for all the Gandalf melee wizard enjoyers, meme spec people, you'll be able to also do some cool melee stuff as well. But it's not going to be required for applying the Seal of Magic, or Mark of Magic, I should say. Low-level wizard needs love. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those classes that definitely comes into its own over time. But yeah, I'll see if there's anything. I think some of these changes may help in that department, but we'll have to see. Will marks still get applied with melee hits as well as evocation spells now? That is my intent. I don't know what's happening in the current patch, but if that changed for some reason, then we'll adjust that. But yeah, the intention was that if you kind of go melee wizard memes Gandalf spec or whatever, you'd be able to still apply those with melee hits if you wanted to. But you can also apply them with evocation spells, and when the staff mechanic comes in with magic missiles, you'll be able to also apply it with that as well. With the new Bard Charm songs, are there mana increases? Yes. There's mana increases, and there will be a maximum level that you can use for each of the charm spells, or songs. Nick, is there a reason exposed shot shares the same cooldown as the piercing shot line? There was originally. There was a lot more shared cooldowns. I think there might be an undocumented change where one of the abilities is no longer sharing. I don't know if it's that one or something else, or they might still be sharing. But again, I'm evaluating those, and I may make some changes. I know somebody mentioned taunt on Fighter earlier with the shouts. So I will evaluate those and see if it makes sense to change them. I made a note. Hell yeah, any other Bard songs coming in? I want to do some more for the next patch. It was something that I wanted to get to in this patch, and I started with the charm stuff. But the archer stuff ended up eating a lot more time than I had expected. I had to fix a bunch of bugs that I had introduced when I initially implemented them. So, but I will try to get some more Bard songs in for next time. Hey, Nick, hopped in late. Did you already talk about the Peli cooldown bugs? No, somebody brought it up, and I'm going to take a look. If I can get to it by the end of the evening, I will see if I could get them into the patch. Can you go more into detail about snaring shot? It's a 6-second snare, 50% movement speed, and I believe the cooldown is 45 seconds or a minute. I have to, or it might be 30. I have to double check. It might be 45. I think it's 45. Have you guys decided on a steady patch / maintenance day yet? I thought we talked about Wednesdays, but I could be wrong. Any plans to address charm from Enchanter charm mobs dying and getting full XP, and charm mobs being stronger than any player is super strong for leveling? Yeah, we talked about how we're making it hard to stick charm on higher level mobs. And then we talked about kind of our philosophy for game balance. We're trying to make it more punishing to get, hit, or, like needing more gear, needing more charisma, stuff like that. So, definitely we're looking at charm. We're making changes in this patch, and then we're gonna continue to look at charm and see if there's anything that we can do. Of course, I think it's also a consideration that you're able to get kind of that solo XP without needing the charm break and to like finish off mobs. Same deal for like pets. So that's a concern that I brought up, but not sure if we'll change that one per se. But it is on our radar, stuff like that. So hey, Kha'Zix, thank you for the tier 1. I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the stream. Nick, please rename the spell arrow to Purge Arrow. Yeah, somebody brought that up before. I'll make a note for that as well. Nick, do you feel Beastmaster damage is good enough with their pets with the loss of double attack from November? I think I'm seeing like some pretty decent damage numbers out of them, but if not, their melee abilities will be expanded on a little bit, so I think that they're going to get some love there regardless. But if we find that, certain classes are overperforming or underperforming where we want them to be, then we'll definitely make adjustments. But so far, I'm not too concerned about Beastmaster, but they do need some additional mechanics and abilities and love, and they will get that before EA. Nick, please add /tell to nameplate drop-down options. Did we not add that yet? That's planned if it's not in already with this patch. So, but I'll also make a note again. But I think it is on our UI task list. Oh, Vorticus, thank you for the Prime. Appreciate that. Welcome in. Glad you're enjoying the stream. When are the wizard staff changes coming? I would expect all that to come in the next patch. Any cool Necro stuff in the works? Not currently, but I still have some, stuff that I would like to do for them. More Bone Knight stuff. Bone Knight being like the melee Necro, kind of like meme stuff. But also, taking a look at their dots and stuff and whatnot. Nick, any ETA on poisons? Next time I do a dev stream, I'm probably going to also be working on those as well. But it's also going to require some amount of basic itemization and kind of economy work stuff. But hopefully some of the stuff that Rich is working on and other designers from the team will help facilitate that. And we'll get that in as soon as possible. But I'm planning on designing out the poisons very soon here, ahead of that work. And if we need to maybe make them available just as a stopgap until we get the itemization in properly, then maybe we can consider that as well. Is the goal to have Archer, Rogue, and Wizard be the premier damage classes? Rogue and Wizard, Archer is supposed to be actually high A tier. I think I've said it. I think I've gone on record of saying it was S tier before, but I actually looked at some old notes and it was supposed to be high A. And the reason for that is kind of more of the added utility in the ranged capability. So maybe they're overperforming a little bit on the damage side. I'm not sure. I'd have to get some better parse information on that. But Rogue and Wizard are meant to be the premier physical damage and the premier casting damage. Of course, Wizards have the mana issue to kind of concern themselves with, but in terms of them having a full mana pool, then absolutely they should be destroying. What's it called? But yeah, Archer is meant to be pretty up there. Just not necessarily S tier, high A. Nick, what's on the works for Ranger? Definitely a pass on their melee abilities, like martial abilities, stuff like that. I could see them getting some more spells here and there, more unique mechanics. Death's Demise is an ability that needs to be bug fixed. I don't believe that it is working properly. It also probably would help to have a few more mobs that actually have Death Touch, but that's kind of a meme ability anyways, but situational. But yeah, definitely expect a couple more Ranger unique things, and especially in terms of their base melee kit and ranged kit. More so burst, but we want them to be able to do some, a decent amount of sustained damage, right? There's mechanics in there, mana regen mechanics. You've got arcane invocation. You've got arcane infusion. You've got the execute, mana return, stuff like that. So we want them to be able to, and then we'll be adding free magic missiles to the staff system, right? So we want them to be able to sustain damage a lot more, but is that S tier sustained damage? I don't know, not really. Maybe not. Maybe it is. We just want them to be an S tier DPS class in general. And I think burst can be desirable depending on situation. It really depends on your comp makeup. It might not be desirable in a like a min-max situation, but certain groups, burst can be, if you can quickly DPS down, burst down a mob, and you don't have to crowd control it, for instance, Wizard can be usefully, provide some, useful niche utility in their ability to burst things down, but, this. 'Cause, 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 How will staff magic missile idea affect meditation? It's a good point. It's something I've thought about in the past. Is like maybe it's something you can like battle meditate or something, or I don't know. I have to think about that a little bit more. Or yeah, and again, I've always shied away and been, you know, I want to be careful with allowing classes to have free damaging abilities, like caster classes to have free mana abilities. Like that's always a scary thing for me, but I think it kind of makes sense for Wizard because A, they don't have a pet, and B, it kind of fits the theme, right? So, but I'll definitely keep a close eye on it because, I could see it affecting the whole meditation thing, right? If they need to be meditating a lot, then it might not make sense that, you know, they're just using magic missiles. So we'll have to think about how to design around that and come up with a good solution. Any plans for the new items in the game that can't be disenchanted yet? Telekir items, etc. Yeah, somebody mentioned it earlier. I noted it down, and I'll talk to our itemization guys about that. Burst is good if you design mobs for it. If you're always fighting casters, being able to burst is critical. Yeah, that's a good point. And that might also rely on caster mobs maybe having less health. So something to consider maybe for us down the line, balance-wise. I think we've designed around caster mobs just having similar HP as regular mobs as a kind of like difficulty thing, but something we can consider. The way we're adjusting TTK will be through AC. So maintaining similar health pools will help casters maintain some relevance when it comes down to burst damage and stuff like that. Missed the actual patch notes run through. sorry, bud. You'll have to check out the VOD or when I post the notes into Discord and stuff like that. Hey Nick, I love the beta. Hey, I'm glad, Irohini. How will you balance melee DPS with spellcaster DPS since they don't ever have downtime? Make them more about sustained damage, not about burst damage. Give them lower utility, lower crowd control durations, no crowd, like for example, the rogue and the archer, they have some crowd control, but it's not like something that they can keep reapplying over and over. And it's not something that has a long duration, right? Whereas casters have to expend mana, but they can keep reapplying. They have longer durations, stuff like that. It's more powerful utility, more powerful crowd control. So melee have physical classes that don't use resources, don't get super great options there. Hope that makes sense. Pretty sure he could check them out on Slack. Yeah. For trade skills, is your chance to skill up higher on more difficult combines? I actually don't know that. Ollie, do you know that? Is that something we want to reveal? If not, it's not a big deal, but I'm not actually sure. How are you, Nick? Oh, I'm doing pretty good. You know, it's keeping super busy over here. But I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Need my Seb wizard mobs equivalent that have god HP, melee damage, and can ass blast me? Yeah. Wizards can't really CC though? Well, I mean, quickly nuking down a mob is a form of CC. And they get like brute and stuff, right? They have some stuns. Well, it's kind of not long duration stuns, but say that again. So somebody asked, for trait skills, is your chance to skill up higher on more difficult combines? Damn, 635 viewers? Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And thanks everybody for all of the subs and bits and everything. It's very kind of you, very generous of you. So it sounds like Ollie has also said the patch is about approximately 12 hours from now. So 6 a.m. Eastern, if I got my time right. And I don't believe the downtime is typically very long for those, so. Telekinetic knockback. Yeah, that's... I forgot about that one. Root is underrated CC. Yeah, it's really good if you're not fighting casters or what have you. Yeah, cramped dungeons definitely Root suffers in a little bit. But outdoors, it's great CC, especially if you're fighting non-caster. Or you have a lot of room to range the casters. Nick players are leveling up too quickly. In EQ, it took many months just to hit mid-levels. Any thoughts on adjusting experience rates to slow it down? Yeah, so we're going to be looking at the TTK. We're going to be increasing the TTK. We're going to be nerfing some of... Obviously, like, Charm is getting... it's going to be harder to land on, like, red mobs and yellow mobs, stuff like that. So, we're targeting some things on the balance side to help with the XP. But it is something that I did bring up with our balance designer chat is... Maybe it's just a case where we need to make the experience like a little bit, you know, longer. Like, not overly so, right? I wouldn't want to make maybe like a major jump there, but it might make sense for us on top of the balance changes to also potentially look at just making it a little bit slower XP-wise. So decreasing the experience rate a little bit or increasing the total experience requirements. Experience feels good right now? Yeah, like, I'm sure that it, for certain situations, certain comps, certain classes, it probably feels good. But, you know, we're obviously seeing a lot of the outliers, or people just playing a lot, right? But yeah, it's something that we're continuing to look at as the beta continues. Inquisitor is getting some love on the physical defense aspect. It's more like an off-tank situational than actual tank. Yeah, so again, one of the things I'm going to be working on here very soon is the shield mitigation abilities for all the different tanks. But yes, they are very much intended to be one of the main kind of tanks in the game. So that will come with like basic rotational mitigation abilities, maybe some longer cooldown mitigation abilities, stuff like that. And maybe some additional stuff, stances, potentially. There's lots of possibilities. Now that we're getting this patch out, I can kind of just enter the lab, per se, and just kind of start getting a lot of that stuff figured out. Did you make the snare shot the same cooldown as piercing shot? Hopefully different cooldowns for utility purposes, with such long cooldowns. It's not the same cooldown, but it is the same cooldown. I think they might both be 45 seconds now. I have to confirm that, but I don't think they're not meant to share a cooldown. So I'll have to take a look and see if that's what I want it to be. But yeah, they shouldn't be sharing. Yeah, I don't want M&M tanks to follow EQ, where some are just not able to tank at endgame. Such a feel-bad moment when your tank class can't do its role. Yeah, so the intention for M&M is that, you know, there are some clear winners when it comes to, like, tanking certain content, but, and same with, like, maybe healing, right? Like Cleric and Fighter do have, like, small edges in certain ways, but... the intention is for it to not be so overwhelmingly a huge gap where you can't use the other healers as like a main healer, or you can't use the other tanks as a main tank. So it's definitely like not as large of a gap, and that's intentional. Most named mobs can't be stunned. Yes, that's true, but we made it a change so that you can use a stun to get like a micro stun interrupt, essentially, even if they're named. So if they're immune to stun, you can use a stun as an interrupt, and but yes, it won't do the full stun effect. It'll just do enough to interrupt the ability. I'm enjoying Monk's ability to do a bit of off-tanking. Yeah, Q. Definitely always wanted to get that for Monks. And then we have a couple ideas to make that even better for Monks. And so look for future changes there. Some people are saying shields offer negligible survivability, and it's better to two-hand or dual-wield. Is this true? And if so, is it intended? It could be true, yeah. I do believe that shields maybe need some love, of course, in terms of ability stuff, but also in terms of maybe the combat formulas. So we'll keep taking a look at that and make sure that we can get shields to a place where they are viable and useful situationally. Yeah. More importantly, is there a fix for the new items you implemented in Telekir, etc. that are unable to be disenchanted? Lots of items you can't disenchant. Yeah, it's been brought up a couple times already. I will reach out to our itemization guys and let them know about that and make sure that our itemization pipeline properly considers like the tags that we need to use for disenchanting and make sure that they get like the magic flag and stuff like that. Behe, thank you for the 100 bits. Appreciate that. And let me see, did I miss anybody? Helvorticus, thank you for the prime. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Nick, with increases to mob HP/TTK, how do you balance that with Wizard Burst? Last time mobs got HP increases, Wizard nukes didn't get increased, which makes the execute mechanic not as valuable overall. So we're not planning on a large increase of mob HP. I don't know if we're actually increasing the mob HP now, or we're just increasing mob AC armor class. I think we might do a very modest amount of mob HP increase, but it's something that we'll continue to evaluate and make sure that, you know, if we need to buff nukes a little bit, or we're also looking at spell scaling on gear, so it might be a thing where nukes just scale with gear a lot better in the near future. It's something that we've talked about just super recently in the last day or so. So maybe that's kind of the avenue where you're going to get more damage, and then you'll be able to get that burst better.
Goonie69 just cheered 500 bits.
Goonie69, thank you for the 500 bits. For adding one more race to Inquisitor prior to first expansion model, maybe poll for one race to add pre-expansion. Goonie, bring that up on Sean's stream. He's been kind of the one handling a lot of the kind of like creative direction in that department. So, you know, maybe it's something, you know, I'll mention to him, but it's definitely something that if you guys there's a lot of feedback about it, and you know, maybe he'll consider something like that. So, but yes, thank you for the 500 bits. I will try to remember to bring that one up with him. Make a note, actually. Yes. Thank you so much, Goonie. I appreciate that. What does Oil Trap do other than combination of illuminating shot? It's a 20-second 50% snare. If you illuminating shot, it consumes the snare and makes it end early. Any chance of announcing Lizard Folk classes before EA so people can plan ahead? We don't have those figured out. I definitely think we'll probably have Enchanter and maybe Inquisitor for them. Zukin demands it. At least for Enchanter. Actually, I don't know that he demands it, but I demand it for him because he is a Ixar Enchanter enthusiast. Like, the illusion and stuff. Yeah, we'll have to, for our lizard men, we'll have to definitely get them enchanters. Nick, good afternoon, good sir. New to the M&M scene here, and was wondering if y'all have intentions of adding something akin to AAs into the game. I think something all new MMOs miss is a continuous source of character growth and power, kept aside from just gear. Any kind of words or feelings about this? It's something that we've we're definitely considering. I think you might get some vibes from the religion system and the faith system. Kind of like AA feeling things that you can progress towards. But in terms of like a traditional like EverQuest style AA system where you like just kind of XP and get unlocks, maybe not. You know, there's been so many different applications of alternate experience and alternate advancement systems in MMOs over the years. So it's going to be what's up with them trees? That's illusion tree form. But yeah, you know, there may be a more interesting way for us to do AAs than just kind of the, you know, the way that people are expecting us to do them, which is, you know, kind of the EQ way. But maybe there's other cool ways to do it and different avenues through factioning, religion, stuff like that, or just, you know, other experience obtaining methods. And then there's also we're looking at maybe doing skill specialization system, not talent builds per se. So it wouldn't be like class talent builds, but specifically class agnostic skill specializations. You know, EverQuest had like caster specializations, and they didn't go really super in depth into them. And what I'd like to do is provide a system where you can go a little bit more in depth with those, and then they're expanded to non-casting skills as well. So that's something that I've kind of like got some high-level designs for, but we'll have to talk about more specifics and get some kind of implementation in there. But yeah, there's more interesting ways to grind. That seeing how many points you have to spend to get upgrade. Yeah. I love AAs, but adding them so early would be terrible. Yeah, like, definitely something that we might consider for the future, but it's not a priority at the moment. Is there a way to change color or nameplates of either pets or mobs? With all the pets, it's hard to see which is the mob. The feedback's been heard on that. I don't know what the plan is, but I assume that it's not one of our major priorities, but if it's easy enough to do and it makes sense, then we could consider definitely doing something with that. But I'll make a note. How about having AAs unlock the ability but have to run to town to buy the limited buffs? Yeah, I mean, that's one idea, for sure. Maybe. Care to show off some cool sparkling weapons? I know you shared some in the past. I cannot find that video. We did have some, like, flaming, kukris. Legally distinct. But, yeah, we're gonna keep a lot of that stuff under wraps until, you know, people get to experience it in game and obtain them and feel super special, so no spoilers from me. And it's still something that we have to work on a bit. You know, we don't have a ton of special VFX on weapons yet and stuff like that. Most important question, when human run animation pass? I don't know if it's on our radar or not, but it's good feedback if you want to maybe make a post about it, or I'll take a look at the thing and see if there's anything that. But yeah, I know that the animation guys are, I think, focused on emotes at the moment, but you know, it's good feedback. So thank you for bringing it up. Want to buy spell lesser evacuate? Level requirement, anything lower than current level 55 evac available? I'll make a note. Nick, can we get instant log out while in town, or at least when in a safe area like near bank? The reason we don't have that is because, like, even our towns are combat areas, so we'll probably not add that if I had to guess. Are you tweaking Charm for just higher level? Hopefully Charming Whites, Blues won't be harder. For Enchanter, always breaks very often, but makes sense for Charming Red to be harder. I believe it's just Red and Yellows, but I could be mistaken. If you feel that the Charm has gotten a lot worse, and you know, even if you're stacking X amount of Charisma and it's still feeling really bad, then we're inclined to make adjustments, right? Why is the tree rotating? So those are druids who have used illusion tree form. Any idea of taking a look at the chance of spell skill ups like Conjuration going up? Currently spamming level 1 spells in groups for days, and it's still 108 out of 185. Yes, I've brought this up to the attention of the balance team, and I will follow up with them this evening and make sure that it's on our radar and that we're taking action for that. Noted, Criddle. Noted. I will bring that to the attention of the team. Thank you. If you had to lock in a class for EA right now, what would you play as a player? I'm definitely liking the idea of a druid as a first class, just because you get Sow early, you get ports. It's a good power level class. So I'm definitely thinking about druid, but it's not locked in for me yet. Does charisma actually affect charm? I was bamboozled once with EQ. Yes, it's supposed to. I believe it should be, but I have to confirm. But long term, yes, it should. Divination is so hard. Yeah, well, we'll look into that. Skill up's crazy bad. Yeah, definitely gonna look in. Your game has charm. Crazy, crazy. I know, right? For jewel crafting, it doesn't make much sense that you can't skill up off normal unenchanted metals like you can in EQ. I will make a note. I will make a note and see if that is in line with our design philosophies. I'll bring it to the to Rift, our trade skill designer. Especially bad for wood skills. Spent 500 wood and barely have 20... Was it skill ups? 20 skill. Any thoughts around the reliance / importance of Sow overall? I like it. I think it adds a important dynamic of class interdependence and socialization in the game. And yeah, I really like Sow. I like it being how it is. And I don't see any reason to change it. But we will have stuff like Boots of Speed in the game. We will have Sow potions that you can get. So there'll be probably clicky items that have Sow on it, though they'll be very hard to obtain if I had to guess. But definitely like the Boots of Speed, like kind of J-Boot style option will probably be like something that's like somewhat difficult to get, but not extremely. But I don't know that it will come in until after EA, because we don't want every cool thing to just be in the EA part of the world. We want to have a world where you have to go to various different zones and stuff to, obtain cool stuff. Hey, what's up, you Cater? Nick, any chance to get the rogue skill pickpocket fixed? I wasn't aware that it was broken. I thought it was working. Did it break recently? I'll make a note about that as well. I'm constantly stopping to chat people up to get Sow. Perfect. Working as intended then. The overall speed up is kind of meh. It scales as you level up. But I think it's pretty solid speed increase. Will you increase the amount of closed beta invites? 200 per week is kind of low considering the demands. That's something that I'll bring up as well. I don't know that we'll change it. And we've talked about the PvP invites. I don't know that we'll do it, but it's something that is a topic worthy of discussion internally. Levitation is too game breaking. Was in EQ as well. Well, we don't have levitation in M&M. There's so much verticality in M&M that we kind of decided against traditional levitate. But we will have like a slow fall, and we'll probably have a water walk as well. Nick, what about scribing some spells to a one-time use scroll as a trade skill? Like, could make a one-use Sao scroll or one-use other utility type spell? Yeah, it's a cool suggestion. I mean, we have like 10-dose Sao potions and stuff, but maybe there's like a one charge, like one-time use type deal that you can do or whatever. Could be interesting as an alternative thing. Can beta people still invite a friend? If you win the lottery, you will be able to invite one friend, yes. Nick, please, PvP invites. For Elementalist, Bandage summoning scales quantity as you level, but food and drink doesn't until very late. Took me 12 levels to start summoning 2 at a time. Feels like it should scale per level to 4 at a time like bandages. Can we get better scaling, please? We'll make a note. I thought I looked at it before, but maybe have to make that better. I don't think so, Hiko, but it's a nice thought and suggestion. Any plans for underwater zones like Kedge Keep? Yeah, we're definitely we have like one underwater zone in the work, and then we have one zone that's like partially underwater currently. And like, yeah, I don't want to spoil too much, but yes, and already kind of in the works or happening or existing. Isn't that basically alchemy? Kind of, but if you theme it in a different way, then I could see it, you know, being something else. Are Necros going to be able to root rot for leveling? I'd like to support root rotting a bit more, for sure. Will it be the best thing to do? Maybe not, but it'd be cool if it's maybe a tactic that you can kind of have some progression with and unlock better roots or root rotting and stuff like that. So it's on my radar for sure. Nick, the icon for Druids and Snare and Speed of the Wild are the same. That is key. I snared myself while running from a mob. Oof. We've talked about maybe removing friendly fire on that stuff, so you can't cast harmful abilities on yourself. I know people are going to have like different viewpoints on that one, because I think there is some value in allowing you to use harmful abilities on yourself. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe there is something we could do there. Better ability icons, more ability icons, stuff like that. How do I apply for the lottery? I just got here. Just exclamation point giveaway. And you can leave after you've done it. You don't need to stay for anything. Can Elementalists get summon Mage Light? Seems strange wizards get it and Elementalists don't. Oh yeah, just summon a fire pet. That being said, you know, maybe it does make sense for them to get something. No, I laughed my ass off, but I think a different icon would be awesome. Alright. Snare just needs a red outline. It does on the debuff icons, but it doesn't on the ability bar. But yeah, maybe we can do something there. We need sense heading skill, please. I think we've talked about it in the past, but it would probably be a casted ability instead of like an instant thing that you could just like macro to a movement key. All right, guys. I hate to cut it short, but I have to be somewhere in about 30 minutes. So I'm going to fire off the giveaway real quick. And then I'm going to probably peace out and find somebody to raid. But glad you guys got a chance to get a glimpse at the patch notes. I'll get the patch notes up. I'll get the VOD up on YouTube. You can always check the Twitch, my Twitch VOD, if you want it immediately or to rewind. Hey, have a good one, Ollie. I hope everything's going well for you, man, and have a good night, bud. And then yeah, cool. So let's run this quick giveaway, and then we will again exclamation point giveaway. Again, I'm not going to be doing like periodic giveaways during the streams too much anymore. I'm just going to be doing like one giveaway throughout the entire stream, so people don't feel FOMO. They don't feel like they're missing out on anything. So we'll just do it that way, and then you can come and go as you please, and you don't need to stay here if you don't want to. So exclamation point giveaway, and I will run the giveaway here in about any second. Can you pay to get in? No, you cannot pay to get in. You will not be able to give us any form of money until the game goes live. Then the game will be $15 a month. No box costs, no microtransactions. All right, I'm gonna fire it off here. No more bets. Eat cat poop 1. Eat cat poop 1. Here, let me do eat cat poop 1. Switchbot Pro. Doesn't sound like a bot name. Demon Bomber 64. Appa __. And Revive 12. You guys are the 5 winners of the stream giveaway. So let me drop that into the chats. Congrats. You guys won the giveaway. Whisper me your M&M account email. Or message me on Discord if that won't work for you. Okay. Well, cool, guys. Thanks again for all the support. Thanks for playing Monsters and Memories. Thanks for supporting the project. Thanks for supporting me. Hopefully I'll be back. So we are Monday. We'll try to maybe do some development streams coming up soon. Definitely after the patch. And yeah, looking forward to those. So please follow the stream if you aren't already, and look forward to more Monsters and Memories development streams where I'll be creating abilities and doing other design work live on stream. So let me find somebody to raid, which is fun. You can raid people now in the Monsters and Memories category. That's always fun. Is anybody streaming from the team? First thing I'd like to check. Let me give the opportunity for anybody on the team to start streaming. What's that channel? Have a good evening. Thank you, Zarnoff. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it. But yeah, I just want to run it by the team real quick, and if not, I will pick somebody from the category. Love the beta. Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you, thank you. Alright, sounds like nobody from the team is streaming, so I will pick somebody. Pick me, choose me, love me. Dude, there's gonna be a lot more drama now with these raids, you know? Like, everyone's gonna want to get picked. So, I'll make sure to get a good rotation of everybody in the category. But, let's, I think we'll go over to, let's go over to Alex. Been watching his stream a bit, so we'll hit him. So yeah, thanks again, guys, and yeah, see you next stream. See you guys.